All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Excited to be with you again, spending time talking about your business. Today, we're going to be talking about the keys to building a high ticket offer that attracts premium clients. Now, this is one of those topics, right? Everybody kind of dreams about when you're first getting started because you're like, hey, if I just had like a handful of clients, a small number of clients that were each paying me several $1,000s each, I wouldn't need to have so many clients. I wouldn't need to be chasing after another sale, another sale, another sale. I could just work with a small group of people and they would pay me a good amount of money for what I'm doing, and it'd be amazing. Life would be simple. I would have a great life. I would have a great income, and things would be pretty straightforward. But one of the things that really causes people to stumble, one of the things that causes people to struggle is that they think, well, who would really pay me $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever the number may be, depending on what it is that you're doing. People wouldn't really actually pay that. People are really struggling financially. They're struggling to have the amount of resources to be able to pay all their bills. There's no way anybody would hire me for that. And we start to sabotage ourselves in our own minds. We start to sabotage ourselves in thinking that who's really going to want to pay that rate? Who's really going to want to pay that level of expense, because that's a lot of money. And you're not wrong. It is a lot of money. And yet every single day people are out there spending money at a high level. People are out there every single day buying premium services, and there's a reason why. And that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today, because I can assure you that you can look at your marketing, you can look at your business, you can look at what it is that you're doing from one or two perspectives. One is, hey, I have to make myself as cheap as possible. I always have to keep my prices as low as possible because everyone's struggling. We no matter this is one of the things that I've always learned, is that no matter how well or how poorly the economy may be doing, people will say the economy is bad. It's kind of regardless. It doesn't matter. It could be a good economy. It could be a bad economy. Oh yeah, but the economy is struggling right now. It's bad for people out there. Yeah, and they'll always find a reason to say, "Oh, I can't charge that much because people are struggling. People are having a hard time paying their bills and doing all this." And you look at it and go, okay, so that's not an excuse. You're looking for excuses at that point, because I will tell you, no matter what the economy is, if we're in a boom or we're in a bust, people are still going to buy premium stuff. It really is not a factor. Sitting here saying, people are not going to buy premium level stuff because the economy isn't good, it's really not true. It's not a relevant answer, because that's what we're talking about from an economic perspective is a global perspective. What we're talking about when we're saying, hey, would you spend a premium amount of money for this service, is an individual decision. It's not a global one. It's not a world-sized one. It's an individual one. So regardless of what's going on out in the economy, there are plenty of people out there who still have money. Maybe their income isn't as high as what it used to be right now, but many of them still have investments, they still have savings, they still have things that they've stuffed away. They have resources, they have things that they can pull from. And so all of this is something that we have to get ourselves past. We can't sit here and say and defeat ourselves before we've even gotten out of the chute. We can't shoot ourselves before we've even given ourselves a shot, because people will pay premium prices. Now, the question then becomes, well, what does that look like? How do I position myself so that I can be charging premium rates for all this? Because nothing is more defeating for a person when you sold your services at a very cheap rate, And the person on the other side, the client, took complete advantage of everything that you did. And you just realized that I just worked myself to death. And at the end of it all, I'm getting paid next to nothing because I didn't charge very much. And I'm getting killed over here because I had to do all these things that I didn't consider at the beginning. And now I'm making essentially nothing because the amount of work that I had to do for the amount of time I had to put in wasn't worth it. So this is where I really challenge you. When people are struggling to make their businesses work, one of the things frequently is that they're undercharging. They're not charging enough for what it is that they're doing. And as a result, and then they want to do a good job. They want to make sure their client is happy, which is a good thing. It's the right attitude. It's a good attitude to have. But what ends up happening is you put yourself in a position where you're over serving and undercharging. And the person that gets hurt in that is you, because you are working for very, very little money at that point in time. And it becomes very, very difficult for you to be able to ever move ahead, because you are never going to be able to move forward when you're constantly barely paying the bills. So with that being said, let's move on to the next part of this, which is, well, how do you structure yourself? How do you position yourself so that you can charge premium rates, so that you can charge higher fees for what it is that you do? Because again, you're going to have that internal pushback. You're going to have that internal, like, hey, I don't know that I could do that. I don't know that my market would pay this. I don't know that my people could afford to do this. You need to let that go. There's always people out there who are willing to pay a premium for this type of service. And to be honest with you, a lot of times the people who are willing to pay a premium for that service are going to be better clients anyway, because they value what it is that you're doing. Not always, but frequently you can get a better quality client, because when people don't value what it is that you're doing and they're always looking for everything from you for the cheap, you're always bleeding. You're always trying to give everything you can and never getting anything in return. And those people are not your best type of client. So the type of client that's looking for a premium level service, a type of client that's willing to pay for a premium level service, is a client that's focused on transformation, not time. Okay. They are looking at a situation and they go, look, I want this outcome. I want this transformation. I want this problem solved. I want this result. This is the thing I'm trying to get to. And these people, a lot of times, will look at situations and say, you know what? I don't want to nickel and dime my way around, because there's three ways of solving most every problem, right? You can try and solve it by yourself, which is you sit down, you do the work yourself, you do all the research yourself, you try and figure out everything yourself. And you try and, do everything on your own. Number two is you acquire, done with you, which is you're still doing the work, but you're bringing someone in, or you're buying a program, or you're buying something that's going to show you what to do. You're buying resources that give you what you need so you have help to get it done. Or there's the done for you model, which is you actually pay somebody else to do it. You're just saying, I don't want to deal with it. I just want it done. Those are the three lanes. And when we're talking about the premium lane, we're talking about the people who say, I just want it done. I just want it taken care of. I want it resolved. I want it moved into the land of complete. I don't want this sitting here, going, okay, I can't, I can barely make this work. So no, I don't want to mess around with it. I don't want to spend time on it. I don't want to sit here thinking about it. I don't want to research it. I don't want to do this. And this is an example of this is simply last year we had a planting bed next to our house, and we had some old pine trees in there. Now our house is last year would be 25 years old. So these trees are, there are a couple of them that were coming to the end of their life. They were not, they'd been there. I'm sure we were not the original owners of the house. I'm pretty sure those trees are probably original with the house, and those trees were dying. And we knew we needed to rip them all out get rid of them and replant that whole, it just needed to be all ripped out. All the trees in there were getting very old. They're getting very much at the end of their life. They needed to go. It was just how it is. We needed to get rid of them and start over. And so I knew, like, for me, I was going to have to, I had different paths. I had basically two paths. I could either try and do this myself, which means I'm going to be out there for probably a while, a few days because I don't do this full time. I'd be out there trying to cut all the trees down. Then I got to go find a stump grinder and try to grind out all the stumps. Then I'm going to have to kind of do the bed, and I'm going to have to go out and find and buy all of the new bushes and the new plants and the new trees that we're going to plant. I'm going to have to probably rent a truck. I'm going to have to do all of that. And then I have to dig holes. I have to try and get the new trees. And this is going to be a lot of work for one person. And this is going to take me a while. And so I could have done it, but it would have cost me was a tremendous amount of time. It would have cost me a tremendous amount of time to be able to get that done. And I looked at it with all the other things I had to do, and I was like, no way. I am not going to spend all this time, because like I said, by the time I tear everything out, get rid of everything, go shopping for all the new stuff, get all the new stuff either delivered or have to go get it, dig all the holes and remulch it. I'm like, oh my word, I'm going to be here forever. This is a lot of hours for me to do by myself. Or I could bring in somebody and he could come in with his crew, rip everything out, replant everything. We told him what we wanted and we're done. And yes, he charged me a premium level service fee for that service. But guess what? He did it all with his crew in like 2 days. One day they came, got everything ripped out. All the guys came, ripped all the stuff out, hauled everything away. We gave him a list of the bushes and the trees that we wanted to replace. All the stuff that we took out, he said, no problem. He went and took care of buying it on our behalf and replanted the whole thing. And him and his crew took care of everything in another day. I didn't have to do anything. And did he charge me for it? Oh, heck yeah. Don't worry. He charged me a good fee for that service. But the reality is that it's done. And I didn't have to spend several days of my life dealing with it. See, there are people out there all the time who are thinking like that. Like, I don't want to sit here and try and figure this all out by myself. I just want this done. I want my problem solved. I want the result. Those are the people that will pay for a premium level service. So when you're thinking about how do you structure your service, you need to think about it from that perspective. They're not looking for, they don't want to spend all the hours doing it. They don't want to spend all the time struggling to try and figure it all out. They don't want to do it. They want someone to show them the shortcut. They want someone to take care of it for them. So how can you position yourself as to be the person to take the time burden off of them, shorten the amount of time that they're going to have to do it, shorten the amount of work they're going to have to do, shorten the level of responsibilities that are on them. And instead, you're going to get them the result significantly easier. Now, it doesn't have to mean that you do all the work. In some situations, that's not really possible. That's not really an option. Let's just be honest. You can't do everything for them in every situation. With what I do, I help coach people on how to build their own business. I can't do everything for them. I can do a lot of things and help them with a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's got to be their business. I can't be the person actually running their business. I can be the person who can take a lot of the burden off of them. I can take a lot of the trial and error off of them, but I can't do everything. So even in certain situations, you can't do everything. And if you do, you got to charge a super premium for it because you're doing a lot of work. You're doing a lot of time. So essentially what happens is you have to focus, you have to figure out how can you serve your clients at that high level so that what they see when they see your service isn't a lot of work on them. They're not seeing a lot of responsibility on them. They're not seeing, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to learn 20 different things. I'm going to have to figure out all this stuff. It's going to be a mountain of hours. It's going to be so much work and so much time, because what they're seeing is, yeah, I can get to the solution, but this is going to be difficult. This is going to be a lot of work. This is going to be hard. What they're seeing is, oh, this is going to be easier. This is going to reduce hours on me. This is going to reduce the workload on me. I'm not going to have to figure everything out. I'm not going to have to do all the work. Everything. This is going to shorten the time, the energy, the difficulty. All of that is being dramatically reduced by your service. So when the buyer looks at that, they go, I'll pay a premium for that. You're about to make my life significantly easier. So when you think about your services, how do you focus on that transformation? How do you make it so like they're not going to have to spend the same amount of time as if they were doing it on their own? You're going to pull that away. You don't want them to be looking at this going, oh, the time investment on this is going to be a nightmare. No, you want to shorten it. You want to shorten the degree of difficulty. You want the degree of difficulty to be significantly easier, significantly simpler. And you want that likelihood of achievement to be a lot higher. So they're looking at it going, this is going to work. I'm not going to have to do as much work. I'm not going to have to struggle as much. I'm not going to have to take on as much. I have a high degree of confidence that we're going to get there because I'm bringing in someone that knows exactly what they're doing. I'll pay it. You see how that works? You see how that, because you're focused on the end result, the transformation, the end of the story, which is what they want. That's the goal that they want. I wanted my planting bed done. I wanted everything planted. I wanted everything taken care of. And I didn't want to have to stop everything else that I was doing to have to go spend 3 days, 4 days, whatever it would have taken me to go figure it all out by myself. You can figure out that same thing. How do I show that I can get them the transformation without them having to do all the work, without them having to spend all the time, all the energy learning? Because as we grow older, we quickly realize that, yes, I can try and do it by myself, but I've had many times where, I was like, oh, I think I could do this. I could figure it out. I could do this project on my own. So I go down the path and I start trying to do it, and then I mess up and I make a mistake and I do it wrong. And then I end up spending money because I have to go do it over and do things 2 or 3 times before I finally figured out the right way to do it, because no one was there to tell me. I had to do it by trial and error. I ended up spending way more money than I ever thought I was going to in the first place. And I would have been better off just hiring somebody that knew what they were doing, and it would have been 10 times easier. See, that's what we realize as we grow older, is that there's a big value in paying for premium level services. So position yourself in that way. Position yourself in that way that you're going to make this so much easier for them, that you're going to make this the odds of success are going to go up dramatically, and the amount of work and effort and difficulty on them is dramatically reduced. All of a sudden, now they're going to be going, okay, I'll find a way to come up with the money, because I have this fear that if I try and do this on my own, I'm never going to get there. But with you, this could happen. All of a sudden, your client is saying, I'll figure out a way to come up with the money. Even if I don't have it, I'll find a way to get it. All of a sudden now, they're much more willing to pay you what you're worth. Pay you in a way that you're actually getting rewarded for the amount of effort, expertise, and skill that you are providing. Second, what you want to do is you want to design a clear, structured framework. So this is the next thing, is like when the client looks at this process, when the client looks at what's happening, they need to have a simple framework in their head that they go, I see how this works. See, if your process and your system and what you're doing is complicated, if the process of what you're doing is confusing, they're looking at it going, this is going to be a lot of money, and I don't know that this is going to work. And it's not even that it won't work. It's like, I don't understand it. I don't understand what we're even doing here. And if I don't understand it, then I don't think I trust it. I don't think and that's not saying that I don't trust, that they don't trust you as the service provider. It's saying that they just don't, it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't, all the little pieces don't line up. All the little things don't connect for them. And as a result, they are confused. They're not clear. But if your framework, if your step-by-step process is like, okay, this is what we're going to do first, this is what we're going to do second, this is what we're going to do third, and then we'll have the result. And they go, oh, okay, well, that's pretty simple. That's pretty straightforward. I can see how this is going to work. Like for me with the planting bed, we're going to rip all the trees out. We're going to, you give us the list of what you want for the new trees and bushes to go in there. And we're going to replant all the trees and and redo the mulch since that'll all be torn up and you'll be done. Simple. I could easily see how they were going to get the result for me. What about you and the service that you provide? How can you simplify the process for them so that your client can look at it going, okay, you're going to do this first, and then the next thing we're going to do is that, and then the next thing we're going to do is that, and then we'll have our result. Because when somebody feels like, hey, I'm going to hire somebody who's an expert in this, I'm going to hire a provider who knows what they're doing, who can do this way better than me, who can do this way faster than me, way more efficient than me, who can take a lot of the burden off of me so I don't have to sit here and struggle with this on my own. And they have a clear step-by-step process to get the result that I understand. And I don't need to understand all the details. I don't need to understand the minutia of how you're going to do all these things. I just need to understand at a high level, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. Ah, okay. I can see how when we do those three things, that gets me the result. And we'll be done. Fantastic. Let's do it. So you just made my life easier. And I understand at a high level, this is what has to happen. So that when we're going through it, the expectations are very simple and straightforward. It's a very understandable process. I'm not confused. I'm actually excited. Because even if each of those three stages are a little bit involved, even if each of those stages take a little bit of time to work through each one, I see a path to success. Again, it's like standing on the one side of the riverbank and not being able to see the other side because there's too much fog, over the river. You can't even see the other side of what's on the other side of the river. And you go, I don't know what's over there. I can't even see the end. Versus being able to stand on a clear sunny day and being able to see directly on the other side. And you look at it and go, well, shoot, all I got to do is walk across this bridge and I'll be right to where I want to go. I can see the path. I can see the way to success very clearly, very easily. When you can do that, now you've opened up a whole other level. Now you've opened up a whole other pathway because it's an easily understood path to success. Now they have confidence. Now they're looking at it going, wow, this person's going to take a lot of the work off of me. They're going to provide a simple process to get a result. And I understand how we're going to get there. This is great. This is fantastic. And then now that they're looking at this going, this is going to work. All I have to do is spend a little bit more and bring in somebody who's an expert. Because again, just telling you, a lot of us as we grow older are looking at things going, I don't want to sit here and try and relearn everything from zero. When we're young and we're broke and we got nothing but time, we were willing to dig in and try and figure everything out ourselves. And now we're like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I know how much work and how much time I ended up spending, and it was a horrible experience. I just want to bring in somebody that knows what they're doing. Let's get this done so I don't have to spend this next 3 months of my life trying to sit here and struggle with this thing. I want to be able to get it done and move on. So these are all very, very important things. There's all very critical steps to how you present what it is that you're doing. When they see the path, they'll go, wow, that's fantastic. I can see myself victorious. I can see myself succeeding. I can see this problem being taken care of. Now they have all the confidence in the world that this will work for them. And lastly, if you want to do a premium level service, throw in a few bells and whistles. Add a few premium touch points. Add a few, because you're going with us, we're going to take care of it. We'll provide white glove service to what it is that we're doing. We're going to give you an additional one-on-one call. We're going to do a personalized, we're going to give you personalized support. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. Because now it feels like, okay, yes, I'm going to be spending a little bit extra money here. I'm going to be given a little bit extra, but I'm going to be treated special. I'm not, the guy over here trying to figure it out all on himself anymore. I've kind of elevated my status, and I'm now a VIP type client. I like it. I just got to come up with the money. I got to come up with a way of paying for it, and I like this feeling. I like the feeling of being taken care of. I like the feeling of having this done for me. I feel now I'm not feeling like I'm just kind of, giving up all my money. I'm feeling like I'm special. I'm feeling like I am a valuable person, and I'm being treated in that way by these little extra touch points. So as you're building out your offer, as you're thinking through how can I structure things so that I can get a premium level paying client. Number one, get out of your head that no one will pay that level for your service. And get over it. Get past that. That is a limiting belief that's in your head. Yes, there are plenty of people that won't pay for your service. I have people all the time that want me to work for them for free. And I just say, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going to work for you for free. Like, I want you to do this for me. I want you to do that for me. I understand, but you understand this is not something I'm going to do for you for free. This is my work. This is my business. This is what I do. And if I work for you for free, I won't be in business very long. So stop trying to serve those customers. Stop trying to serve those people that just essentially want to take advantage of you. Look for the ones that are going to value you and who you are and what it is that you do. So get that out of your head. Then once you get this out of your head that there are people in the world who will pay for your service, figure out how can you provide a transformation for them that is going to reduce the hours that they have to spend, reduce the difficulty, shorten the timeline, just make everything 10 times easier for them. Show them how you're going to reduce the burden on them, how you're going to make this so much easier on them, how they're not going to struggle, how they're going to get to the result, how they're going to have this, but they're going to be on the easy path. They're going to have this transformation in their lives, and it's going to be so much easier than what it would be any other way. Secondly, how do you then show them a pathway at a very high level that gives them confidence that, hey, this is going to work. This is going to happen. You have all the skills, you have all the abilities to get success in this area, and you have a simple, understandable pathway to get there. And lastly, you're going to take care of me while I'm here. You're going to throw in a few extra bells and whistles. You're going to throw in a few extra things to make me feel special. I like this. I like it. I'll pay for that. Again, these are all things as you're creating your offer. How can you create that feeling for your client? Because there are people out there that will pay 100%. There are definitely people out there who will pay or who will find a way to pay and who will appreciate the fact that they're being taken care of. They're going to appreciate the fact that you are going to get the result for them. You're going to appreciate the fact that you're taking care of them on that journey. Focus on them. And when you do that, all of a sudden now what you're having is you are having in a world where you are getting premium level clients who are valuing what it is, the work that you do, who are paying you at a rate that you deserve, and who, you know what, are going to show you a lot of appreciation for what it is that you're doing, who recognize your level of expertise, who recognize your level of skill. And you're all of a sudden going to be able to go to work and say, hey, I'm actually getting rewarded for what it is that I'm doing. I'm actually earning a decent income now. I'm actually earning good money for what it is that I'm producing. As a result, I'm getting something out of this. I'm not working for free anymore. I'm actually getting paid. So I hope that gives you a lot to think about. I hope those are things that are encouraging you to be able to build a business that gets you paid, that has high level clients that actually pay you what you're worth instead of doing things all the time that are basically time drains. Time sucks. Do the things that are going to get you the money that you need to support yourself, to pay you what you're worth. So that's it for this episode. Hope you found a lot of value in it. If you have a business and you would like to get it, going and get things going for yourself, and you would like to be taken care of, and you would like to be having a high degree of success and have a simple pathway to move forward, I encourage you to check out designlaunchgrow.com, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're showing you exactly how to build a business in a way that you have a high degree of success using a simple process that we will help you with, and we will take care of for you. And if you'd like to learn how that could work for you, go to designlaunchgrow.com, fill out an application, and we would love to have a conversation with you. Otherwise, I hope to see you again in the next episode. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again very soon.